Hi, my name is Selena Williams, and my topic is relationship violence among the LGBTQ population. How I kind of got interested in my topic is basically because I have friends that are part of the LGBTQ community, but mainly because I also know that they don't get the proper help that they need when it comes to being helped out by law enforcement when it does involve violence or just them being discriminated against in general. I feel like my topic is definitely relevant and important because anybody that's part of the LGBTQ community, they're just a normal person. They just choose to live their life a little differently. And I feel like that we, as a society, should not discriminate against that. And I feel like we should let them know that their lives matter too, just as much as somebody that's part of a heterosexual couple, just as much as their lives matter as well. The purpose of my study is just to basically shine light on the community a little bit more and just kind of show that there are cases that are going unsolved and that there are cases that have just been pushed to the side when it comes to the law aspect of it, simply because it has relation ties to the LGBTQ community. There have been some articles that I have read that have involved HIV, where it just kind of talks about how HIV is one of the most popular diseases to go into the LGBTQ community. It's mainly found in men that are in relationships within the LGBTQ community. Um, I've also read articles that talk about intimate partner violence within the community and how that kind of occurs and how it's kind of pushed to the side by law enforcement as well. And then I've also read cases or articles where it talks about cycle abuse within that community as well too. And those just basically kind of talk about how the abuser was formed, whether that was abuse from their past relationship or whether that was abuse from family members or something that happened in their childhood that gave them the mentality that abuse is okay. When regarding to my research and how I plan on conducting it, I start off with my research questions. And my first research question is, how does mental health affect relationship violence in the LGBTQ community? And then my second research question is, what type of violence is most common in LGBTQ relationships? And by that, I mean, when I say what type of violence, I mean whether it's physical violence, whether it's mental violence, verbal violence, or emotional violence as well, when it comes to certain relationships that do involve maybe like a female and a female, or a man and a man, or a transgender woman. Um, when it comes to my theoretical orientation for my topic, I do want to prove that the LGBTQ community cases are going cold simply because there's a lack of investigation by law enforcement, simply because, like I said, it has ties to the LGBTQ community. Um, One example that I can give, this case is not cold, but it just kind of shows that that there wasn't really much done when it goes to mainly identifying the victim and just showing that there was basically care for the victim within this whole relationship and within their death. The victim, her name was Tracy Williams. She was a 22-year-old transgender female, and she was killed by her partner. The police waited 10 days to try to identify her, and the only way they were able to identify her was through the LGBTQ community, because instead of the police going out and trying to identify her as quickly as possible to notify the family and everything, they waited 10 days and then relied on the community to help them figure out who she was. They later arrested her partner in that late August of 2019, which was also a very bad year for transgender people, because in that year, a lot of transgender women and men were coming forward saying that they were being abused by their partners within their relationships. When it comes to my research design, I plan to use a quantitative research design in the form of a survey, which also kind of rolls into my data collection and how I plan on collecting that data. I plan on using a series of questions within my survey that will be sent out to college students, that will also consist of multiple choice questions and on, or basically multiple choice questions basically revolving around violence or intimate partner violence within the LGBTQ relationships. And as far as the ethical side of that goes, yes, this is a very sensitive subject within to talk about somebody if they have experienced that. So when it comes to my questions, I plan on not making them gruesome or to where harmful to where it causes them to have flashbacks or causes them to relive that moment in their head, because I do understand that that is a very sensitive topic. And as far as now, I do plan on using this topic when I do start out my senior project and everything, because like I said, I feel like this is a very important topic. So that's basically my rundown for how I plan on conducting my research, and thank you for listening.